from an enraged Taylor Swift fan finding Taylor's location at her friend's wedding and leaking the address, to fans fainting over seeing Michael Jackson perform live. These are just a few of various instances of parasocial relationships. So, hello guys, I'm Glauco Sama 2, and today we'll be discussing parasocial relationships and its negative effects. But before we get started, I would like to add a disclaimer. Please do not send hate to no one that I mentioned in this video. Everyone makes mistakes, and we're not here to spread hate. We're here to spread positivity, and this video is purely educational. So that's it. Hope y'all enjoy. Watch the video all the way through, and I love y'all. Hit subscribe, hit like, and let's get started. So, for those of you who don't know or don't understand what parasocial relationships are, they're a type of one sided psychological connection that develops when people are repeatedly exposed to a media personality. And the credit to that or parasocial, it was made in 1956 or named in 1956 by Donald Horton and R. Richard Wool. And now, for those of you who didn't understand what I just said, basically, parasocial relationships are kind of a one-sided relationship between a normal, regular person and a person, I guess, like a media personality or a famous celebrity. And basically, um, long story short, these people will obsess over a media personality or a celebrity, and it becomes almost unhealthy, the amount of obsession that they're torn towards the people that generally they don't know who they are. Now, how do these parasocial relationships begin or start? Some people may ask. Well, the way that these parasocial relationships start, or a majority of them, is a frequent exposure to that media personality or its content or its celebrity. It could be like its songs, or like videos up on YouTube or TikTok. Basically, just seeing a person repeatedly every single day will basically, for some people, inherently form some sort of like bond to them, even though they've never met this person a day in their lives. They'll kind of form this kind of image of that person in their brain, and it will become just familiar to them and comforting, almost like like a mother is comforting to you, because you see your mom every single day, and it that's your mom, and that's why it's comforting. But your mom wouldn't be comforting if it was some random stranger walking up to you on a Dollar General. Like, if you didn't know your mother and didn't know what she looked like, you wouldn't feel comfort from that. But the difference is that these people go online and they see this person all the time online, or wherever they present themselves, and they just kind of form a bond with them, even though they've never actually met who that person really is. Now, before we get into specific instances of parasocial relationships, I would like to add the fact that media companies want parasocial relationships. They want people to have a relationship or a bond to whatever they're producing. So I'm gonna use K-pop for example, and K-pop has been known to have the craziest, most insane fans that will stop at nothing to defend their favorite K-pop idol. And they're right up there with the Swifties. If anything, K-pop stans are much worse than the Swifties. It's kind of like 50-50. But to use them as an example, the media companies will make these K-pop idols do cute little dumb things to kind of form like a bond, I guess, like a sense of relatability. And it starts kind of like that, like as a thing of like relatability, and making them feel more down to earth, even though that's it couldn't be more further from the truth. I'm sorry, that's the reality. But a K-pop idol is not like everybody else. They're K-pop idols for a reason. They have talent, they sing, and they're famous and rich. So for the average Joe, it wouldn't be the same. But it's kind of like bringing down them to earth to make them more relatable, so people can have parasocial relationships with them. Or it's not just K-pop, it's everyone, because um a you wouldn't want a media personality to not be relatable, to feel snobby or rich, because it just kind of makes them unlikable. And the more likable a person is, obviously the more people will consume that media. So companies media companies, they really want these parasocial relationships. But personally, and we're going to get into that, I believe that parasocial relationships are negative, and we should stray away from them as much as possible. Now, I said these names a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna say them again. Donald Horton and R. Richard Wool. They were scientists, I'm pretty sure, and they were in what is it called? They were in psychology. There you go. They're psychologists. And back in the 1950s, where parasocial relationships basically began, or not really began, but more of the name or the coined term parasocial relationship began and made by these people. Basically, TVs were becoming more widespread in the 1950s, and these two basically saw people begin to have a sense of intimate relationship with the actors that were appearing on their TV screen, and kind of build different weird relationships with them, even though they had never met them before. That is kind of like the origin of parasocial relationships, because before that, people didn't really have TV screens, or didn't really have anybody to, I guess, have a parasocial relationship with. But at the same time, you could say that people did have parasocial relationships because they loved someone's music and they played it all the time. But I'm here to kind of differentiate what's the difference between being a fan and being in a parasocial relationship. And I feel like that difference really needs to be established, because there's a huge I guess outcome between each. Or because I don't want to say that it's bad to be a fan about anybody or like anything. Like, I'm a fan to a lot of things, and I feel like as a person, everyone's fans to something. Like, everyone either likes football, or there's like fans of rap music. There's you can be a fan to anything. But when it starts crossing the unhealthy borderline of fan, is when we start entering the parasocial aspect of the relationship. And I feel like that's when it starts to get unhealthy. So we have three levels of parasocial relationships, and I think I want to start with the first one and the least level of a parasocial relationship, which is entertainment social. So this is the least intense level of parasocial relationships, and basically this level is like surface level, where it's you don't really have any strong feelings towards a celebrity or any type of media form, but you do gain entertainment from it, which I feel like this is what majority of people are experiencing. So we're gonna use, I guess, a rapper for example. What's a good rapper that I can use? Ken Carson. Even though he has his array of parasocial fanboys, but Ken Carson, you can enjoy his music, and that's where it ends. And I feel like that's what it should be. But let's get into a couple more entertainment social relationships until we can get into the second level of parasocial relationship. Now, at this level, I feel like this level isn't really per se parasocial. I feel like it's just being a fan of something. And I feel like if this level is what everybody was, then I think it would be a lot better, I guess, for people's mental health. So this is kind of the level where you want to be at. Now here I'm going to get onto the second level, and I feel like there is still quite a lot of people that are at this level, and I feel like this is where people usually point parasocial at, because it's still unhealthy. It's not the worst, but it's still unhealthy. But we have the intense personal, and at this level people develop a sense of greater personal connection with the celebrity. So it kind of ascends the level of just being a fan, and it turns into something where you actually have a deep developed like feelings for the celebrity at hand, instead of just liking its craft and it being that. it's more of a more intense sense of feeling, and they might feel compelled to learn more about the celebrity's life, its personal life, and it might actually start to idolize the celebrity, which I don't want to sit here and explain why that's unhealthy, because I feel like it should be common sense. But idolizing anyone just puts you in a place where you're going to be disappointed, because at the end of the day, these celebrities are just regular people. They're just like me and you. um, they're not someone to be idolized. If you think about it and you think deep down into your past, and I know everyone in here listening has had things that they're ashamed of, because as human beings, everyone makes mistakes. Like I like to say that on this channel, everyone makes mistakes. So these celebrities are idolized, yet they're human just like me and you, and they shouldn't be, because anything that you're ashamed of, they probably have those same things that they're ashamed of, and it kind of just leads down a slippery slope of disappointment. Now, like a couple notable, intense, personal, or second level of parasocial relationships I think we can get into, or the relationships that people have with certain streamers and YouTubers and stuff like that. Of course, we also have the celebrities like Taylor Swift. We have like K-pop stans, BTS and all that, and definitely a lot of rappers. We got like opium rappers. We got underground. Um, all those types of enjoyers of music and stuff like that, but they also have their intense personal connections of people that kind of just idolize them a little too much, which it just shouldn't be done, like I said earlier. But at the same time, you know I feel like it could be worse, which we're going to get into how it could be worse. um, but I still think that these people should probably take a step back and think, should I really be idolizing this person, or should I be idolizing myself, which is what I think everyone should do. Now, we're going to get into the most extreme point of parasocial relationships, which is called borderline pathological. And this is the most intense level of parasocial, where it has obsessive fantasies and extreme behavior. So, like I said in the title, we had freaking Michael Jackson fans fainting. We have extreme obsessive behavior from Taylor Swift fans, to where they could, there's some people that will kill people over these people that don't even know them, and to me that's just insane. Like, you don't even know this person personally, you have no clue who this person is, and you would kill for them. Now, that's just insane. And this extreme behavior could lead to things like that, or it could also lead to financial investments, like spending a whole lot of money just to see these persons. And I also saw a story of and this happens all the time, of like people, like dudes, lonely dudes, sending thousands and thousands of dollars to famous OnlyFans girls and building a parasocial relationship, and then their banks get drained because they're sending so much money to this girl, and they could be insta DMing on OnlyFans, thinking that they're talking to the girl, but the whole time they're just talking to that girl's management, and they're just draining his pockets until it's empty. And he built that parasocial relationship just to get blocked in the end. And that's kind of at this level. And it could also lead to something that I said before, where Taylor Swift was actually stalked and found at her friend's wedding, and they leaked the address. So a lot of stalkers have this level of parasocial relationship, to where they've ascended so far that they actually went to try and meet this person. The problem is that, I'm sorry, but no celebrity wants to meet you if you went out of your way to go stalk them, because you obviously need some mental evaluation, and you obviously need help. Look, I didn't make this video to shame on people for feeling this way, because everyone deals with mental health issues, and a lot of the people that are like this obviously have some mental health issues. They aren't like regular thinking people, and they need help. And I feel like we should point this out, and stop parasocial relationships before they get out of hand, before we have instances where there's people stalking people and finding them and leaking their address, before we have people, spending thousands and thousands of dollars and their whole lives being drained because they wanted to bust one on some OnlyFans girl. They need help, and a lot of people in this level of parasocial have forgotten that it's only that. It's just a parasocial relationship. They don't know you. A lot of these people feel like once they meet these people, they'll love them, and it'll just be a reciprocated feeling. But the sad reality is that it's not, and they need genuine psychiatric help. And I kind of explained the different levels of parasocial relationships, and people kind of go down that slope and slowly descend. And of course, not everyone. Some people stay at one level, but I feel like the second level, third level, when we get to there, it starts becoming a genuine mental health issue that definitely should be looked into. And now I kind of want to get into kind of the negative effects of these parasocial relationships, because I've kind of just been explaining what they are. But if you're still not sold that this is a serious issue, I kind of want to say the negative effects of parasocial relationships. So we got interference with real life. So these people can change, kind of not change, but swap real life interactions with just online interactions. And to me, the most important part of being a human being is real life interactions and meeting people. I feel like that's just, we as humans, we want to interact with people. It's just like it's nature, because people just want to be with other people, and that's a healthy way of thinking. But having these parasocial relationships can kind of swap it to where you don't really want to meet anyone. You're good. Yeah, you got Dan TDM on YouTube. You don't need to meet nobody. And that's definitely an unhealthy way of thinking, and it can cause a lot of anxiety and loneliness and just social isolation, because all you care about is this celebrity. You won't care about going and hanging out with other people. You also won't care about yourself. So it causes that type of like social isolation that people generally don't realize until it's already too late and they've already lost everyone around them. And it can cause media addiction. Media addiction and dependency is a whole nother topic that I'll probably cover in the next video. Let me know if y'all want me to. I know this video is getting kind of long, but let me know if y'all want me to cover that next video. But media addiction, it can definitely make people more addicted to their phones, more addicted to the media that they consume, because all they care about is a certain somebody that they don't even know. And it can also cause conflict in real life relationships, like I was saying earlier, social isolation. Let's say they have a spouse or partner, and they're just too invested, and a lot of people kind of think this is a joke, and it can be, but it's really not, because let's say you have a wife that's extremely obsessed with some type of celebrity, to the point where they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars. They're probably going to get a divorce, and it's happened before. I'll try and pull up a story for y'all right now on editing, but there's a lot of crazy fans, and they lose relationships because of it. Now, before this video turns into 20 minutes of me just yapping, I would like to thank everyone that sat through and listened to the whole thing. I love you guys. Let me know if y'all want me to cover what I just said earlier again. I'll cover media addiction and how it's affecting us and the youth. And I appreciate everyone who subscribed. We hit 200 subscribers. I love y'all so much. And that's it for me. Glock loves you. Don't get into any parasocial relationships. And I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.